Welcome to Wednesday Live. Give the system some time to send out the notices. I am Shantae with Completely Crafty by Shantae. I want to welcome you to my Wednesday night live. I'm here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be working on a low profile wreath. Let's see if I can get my screen bigger. There we go. And this is the sign we're going to use. We're going to do Halloween tonight. So I found this in my stash that I do for my classes, and it looks like I had a couple left, so I decided I would do this evening because I don't have much Halloween supplies. So I thought since I had this, I would try to make something with it. So I'm going to change the angle. Let's see, all right. Looks like I am frozen on Facebook, but we'll see if hey Shay, how are you? We're doing a low profile wreath. So I've already started my work form, and I'm using a Dollar Tree work form. And so what I do is I put a pipe cleaner on every crossbar on the bottom. But then in the inner two rings, I do it in the middle. So I save that. So I'll go ahead and do, just so you can see what I did. And I wanted to be able to, because I am so tired of having just a couple of inches of mesh left, I cut my mesh so that I use all 30 yards, or 30 yards. Thank you. So what I did was, for my rings on the bottom, I cut my mesh at 20 inches. And the low profile wreath is also known as the pancake wreath, but I call it just a low profile. And so it's for, because there's some people who, you know, myself included, that I have a screen door and it doesn't fit in between. So anytime I put anything cute, it gets squished. So I make a couple, except for Christmas time, I make a couple of low profiles so that they will fit in between my screen door. All right, so what I am doing is just making the center as tight as possible. And then I'm going to add this, trying to keep it still as tight as possible. Twist it real tight. Last week was a mess. So I go live. Hey, Miss Rachel. I go live and I can see that I'm live, but it didn't look like anyone was there. So I'm talking to myself, which is fine. I'll talk to myself. But then when I get off, I realized there were people there having conversations, but I was not, you know, engaging because I thought I was on by myself. So I have been doing some tinkering with my computer so that, hey Michelle, so that I could make sure that it's working today. And it looks like it is. Hey Michelle, I was thinking about you because I went to the dollar store last week and they had the Halloween Christmas trees And I was like, I know she did. She made a swag for Christmas. I had to figure out where I could find her video. I almost sent you a message on on Facebook to say, hey, where's that video? So I could see how you made the swag out of the Christmas trees. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is Michelle. So, all right. So I'm trying to make it as flat as possible. Although because I am trying to use all my mesh, it won't be like the 6 or 7 inches that normally is, but it will be flatter. Maybe 3 inches instead. So I'm just folding over the first edge. And just pinching it really tightly. And I'm using this border edge because I feel like with this technique, it's pretty because you can see the edging of it. And I'm just overlapping the ends, just crisscrossing them over. Yes, do another live, Michelle, and let me know when you're doing it. I will make sure I'm watching. Although I just feel like looking at the box, though, compared to the Christmas tree, the Halloween ones look a little thin. I didn't open the box yet, but from the outside, they look a little thin. But I'm hoping it's the same thing. They're just black. I bought 2 because I thought you used 2. And I was like, well, this will just be a test. And I'll see. Because, again, I have no Halloween. Really. I have, like, some stems and picks I could use. But I have no signs. Okay, perfect. Hi, Monica from Texas. Oh, thanks so much for watching. I am in West Virginia, but I'm originally from Philadelphia, so I'm a Philly girl, but I'm here in West Virginia. I have been for quite some time. It's been such a rough week, starting at like 7:15 Monday morning, and like it has been non-stop. And I told my co-workers, I don't drink, but I am going to open up a bottle of sparkling cider because I need a treat. So it has been one thing after the other. All right, so we are almost finished our first layer. Okay, in my video I showed 1. Oh, okay, I didn't realize it was just 1. Okay, that's good because then I can make 2. That's perfect. All right, hold on. There's some stragglers. Okay, perfect, Michelle. All right. I tried to bring the pipe cleaner from the top row down so that you don't have to move it because, you know, the mesh frays, and the less you have to touch it, the better. So I try to pull that down. Okay. And so I am using as my ribbon this orange ribbon with black spiders and white webs. And I'm just going to complement it with the black. And because I want to see more of the orange, I'm going to put the black on the bottom. Okay. And I mentioned earlier that I want to try to use up all of my mesh. So I cut the remaining pieces at 10 inches, and I'm just going to add this to, I'm just going to curl it up, and I'm just going to, I'm going to just add this to, just so that I can use up the whole roll. And then I'm going to add this here. And then I'm just going to spread my wings. I'm just going to spread the ribbons out. And then I'm going to cut. This is the only thing about using the work fronts with the pipe cleaner. I cut it off just because they're not pretty. So then I'm just going to tuck that underneath. This gives it a lot of coverage so that you don't see the frame. Sorry, I just feel like it's puckering a little bit and I'm not liking that. All right. Just rolling this. Pinching it in the middle. And still trying to keep it as tight as possible so that it is still flat. Hey, Aunt Kathy. Finally, I see where you're on. Last week, I didn't even realize you were there. We are working on a Halloween wreath. We're making a low profile wreath, which just means it's made specifically so that it fits between your screen door without getting squished. I don't know why it's puckering in the middle. I don't like the pucker. All right. Monica, are you staying in Texas or are you moving to another state? Thank you, Miss Rachel. I appreciate it. I'm taking off on Friday because I specifically want to do some brainstorming on my business. I want to clean out one of my storage, well, it's my utility room that I store some supplies in. I ordered some more bins so that I can separate them properly. And then I want to see whether or not the wreaths I have in my other room I want to pull all the things I'm planning on taking when I do my show in October. So to see what I have and see what I still need to make. So that is my goal, for at least to begin it on Friday and then finish up on Saturday. I want to schedule some posts so I can have that taken care of. So I will be focused on my business. Well, Monica, good luck with your move. I cut my ribbon tails at 13 inches. I usually only, I do 12 inches all the time, but because this is a low profile one, I want to make sure I get as much coverage as possible. So I did it at 13. My goal is to get at least, 3 low profile ones, because last year a lot of people, I heard them say, that's not going to fit between my door. And so I don't want to give them a reason, because you could easily put it on the outside of the door, but I get it because I don't do that either. I'd rather have it in between my screen. But that's what Friday is for, to figure out what I still need to make, what I need to make. I just placed an order for supplies, so I'm ready for that. Kathy, I do. I rent a U-Haul for my events. And in the month of November, because I have 3 back-to-back weekends of shows, I'm keeping the U-Haul the whole time, so I don't have to load and unload the grid walls that I use, because that's a lot of work. So I have it scheduled for majority of November. So for the first 3 weeks in November, I will have a U-Haul sitting in my driveway. My neighbors are probably thinking I'm moving, but yeah, my car definitely won't be able to fit everything. So I've already pre-ordered. I've ordered the reserved one for October, and then I reserved one for the November shows. I just pray they don't send me, on the mountain to try to get the U-Haul like last time, because that's such an inconvenience. But I'm just thankful that they had one and I didn't have to go to another state to get it. All right, so we are almost finished our last one here. Great. Thank you, Monica. I'm looking at the on the camera, the ribbon almost looks yellow, but it's definitely orange, and it's probably because of my overhead light. Yesterday, I have an uncle that lives in North Carolina, and I missed his call, but I noticed that like he FaceTimed me 5 times, and I was like, when I finally saw the missed calls, I was all concerned, because I was thinking, I just talked to my other aunt in New Jersey, so I know she's fine. So I called my cousin in North Carolina to make sure that they were okay, because I was thinking, he doesn't normally FaceTime me. I'm thinking, I'm just hoping everybody's okay. And when I called to check, he's like, oh, I butt dialed you. I'm like, oh my goodness. Give me a heart attack, why don't you? I was just glad that that he was okay. Monique, I think I got this from the Dollar Tree because I used this for a class that I did last year and I had some extra. So I want to say that was a Dollar Tree. All right, so now we're going to do the next row. Again, I don't want to move the mesh too much. Here's one. I'm pretty sure that was a Dollar Tree because they had some, like 3 years ago, their Boo, they had like ghosts that had Boo on them, and they were large. Well, last year when the Boo signs came out, they were tiny. Because I made a Boo sign for my husband for his office door, and I had one for here, but my aunt came to visit and she stole it. So I bought some more so that I can make some more. So I'm pretty sure that was a Dollar Store. All right, so you see how it's overlapping, so it gives it nice coverage. Let's just stick into itself. Kathy, my last, the show I did in Virginia, I want to say that was in June. We put everything in boxes because we didn't know what the layout was going to be and how we were going to be able to transport everything. And it worked out fine, putting them all in boxes and transporting them. So I'm looking forward to Halloween actually because the kids come from all over to our development for trick or treat. And so last year, I feel like our turnout wasn't that good, and I had a lot of candy left. But hopefully now that, I won't say COVID is under control because we still have the outburst, but people are out and about more. We'll have more visitors. See, this is what happens. I get to talking and I forget what I'm doing. Me too. I have, I think I have purple, I have blue, I have yellow, and I think it has black stripes. I even have red, I think. I like it. I like the border mesh too. I need some fall mesh because I want to do a fall hat, but I don't have any pretty mesh. I think we just have a couple more. Aww. I want to say the year it was COVID, or maybe it was a year after COVID, I individually wrapped, in baggies, everyone's little treats. I I had my little barrels out. And my poor dog, you know, he loves kids, but he barks out of excitement and he scares them. So we had to put him in the house because he couldn't control his barking and he was scaring the kids off. So he sits on the in the foyer, looking out the window, out the screen door. I just pray it's not cold. The last few years, it's been cold. All right, 2 more. And the other development I used to live in, there were kids, but I felt like, and I was probably the second house in the development, but I felt like no one ever came, even if I had my light on. So, let me cut this. So I didn't do much at that development. So I was excited when we moved here and was told that there's lots of trick-or-treaters. So even with that extra curl that I put in, it's still fairly flat. All right. The sign has a hole from where the string was, but what my plan is, I'm going to put the bow on top so that you don't see that, because I hate those holes. So I'm just going to hide it, hopefully, with the bow. Okay, now I know why it's getting tough, because I'm twisting too much. So then it sits up, so that was operator error. Okay. All right, so now we're going to add the rest of our tails. And luckily, these are already have their natural curls, so I don't have to do too much with them. Just need to pinch the center. That was my thought too, Rachel, but I have no Halloween. I have nothing. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I looked, I don't have any signs. I happened to go into my closet that I keep for my classes, and I was like, oh, I'll do that one. But other than that, I don't have any, because I don't want to use the signs that I have for class, because I have one this month and one next month, and so I want to make sure I have enough. Well, fall is my favorite time of the year, so I'm all about the fall stuff. I actually ordered some fall florals because I have another gnome sign that I want, a metal sign that I want to do, and I want to add these particular florals, and I need them for my cornucopia that I want to try to do. And I've been trying to like separate my supplies. So like I have the summer florals on one side of the room and the winter or fall florals on the other, just so that it's easier for me to visualize things. I'm hoping my neighbor will be back hanging out with us on Wednesday. She's been pet sitting for a cousin, so she's not been around. So I'm hoping that she will get to hang out with us soon. I think, oh, that's not good. Hold on. Hold, please. See if I can put new. Oh, yay. Other than, well, I don't even have that sign anymore because my aunt stole it. The boo sign. I normally have stuff out for fall. On my front porch. But what I'm finding is, you know, I need to, oh, that's what I can probably do on maybe another live, make a wreath for my front door. Oh, thank you. Michelle, I do my classes in a neighboring state. They have like a recreation center that like holds different other classes, like, you know, exercise classes, self-defense classes, first aid and stuff. So I called them and said, you know, do you have a wreath maker? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, would you mind if I did classes there? And she was like, absolutely. So I'm trying to get into one and another. Oops. In another area too, to help with the slow months. Oh no. I don't know what happened. Okay, sorry. I got a message up there. Kathy, I will be working on doing more reels and stuff for my for Facebook and stuff like that. Monica, me too. I hope you have one too. I sell real estate too, and the market has just been crazy. So I understand. I understand. Just clip my fingernail. That's not good. I know it's only, I was gonna say Thursday, but technically it's almost Thursday. Do you guys have plans for the weekend? I'm hoping I can bribe my son to come for a visit. I picked up 2 plants for him for his house, And although I'm telling him they look really nice in my room, he may not get these, but I'm hoping that he'll say, okay, I'm going to come and pick them up and we can hang out for a little bit. Because it's just too hot to be hanging out outside. He lives near a, what do you call it? Like one of those prime outlets. So sometimes I will go and we can walk around, but it's just too hot. And there's not enough shade. So we need to do an indoor event. Like when I checked my temperature, the weather on my phone earlier in the week, it said it's supposed to be in the 80s all week. It was 94 today. It's like, no. I don't like that. All right, this is the last one. I feel like this might be more than 10 yards because this was the last one on the, what's the end part of the roll. But I'm going to use it all. And although it's flat, it's still nice and full. Tucking that extra under and then spreading out my tails a little bit. All right, so I use the cable ties to do my hooks. And so I'm thinking I'm going to put him right in the center and then do the bow. Thank you. Do the bow right here. But I think I need to switch it so that the tail is longer. Oh my goodness. No, Michelle. Whew. 100 degrees. I just can't. My husband is always grouping me with the people that says it's too cold. I'm like, I don't like winter. If it could be fall all year round, that works for me. Like, I don't need it to be hot. I need it to be comfortable. I do not want to feel like I'm melting every time I go out the house. Nope, nope. Don't want that. So yes, I'm going to put him right in the middle. So now, see if I can get him in here without too much. I can't, ugh. I cannot imagine. Well, I can imagine, but I don't want it to be reality. Trying to get it around the hoops. It's much easier I've seen where people have gone through the mesh, but I just don't like, I don't want it to have a hole in it. I want it to be tight. This last batch of work forms that I got from the Dollar Tree, like the edges were so sharp. I tried to cut some of them, but some I put glue on the tips because they were so sharp. All right, so here, oh, see, I pulled them up a little bit, so let me just fix that. All right, so I'm gonna put my sign right here to cover. And I'm not gonna do a big bow. So I was thinking, initially I was gonna do this, but I thought, no, I don't like all that glitter. So I have this Beware Boo Eek Spooky Purple, and I'm just going to do the orange, this gingham, and then this black, just to pull in some other colors. I agree, Kathy. Well, you're in a good state that it doesn't get too cold. All right, you guys know how I feel about which way the wordings go. It's going to be a nice, simple bow. Rachel, I have some ideas for like a pumpkin topiary. So I ordered some pumpkins, but I want to paint them because they only came in orange and white, and they had black, and I was like, that would take too much paint. So I'm thinking about like getting some chalk paint and doing like that nice sage green and like an off-white and maybe orange still, so that I can, you know, have a different or some variety in my booth for this show particularly. So hopefully I can find some chalk, because when I went to Walmart to get like a red, they didn't have much of anything. So I did some small topiaries for my foyer, not my foyer, for my front porch, and I put them in planters. And that turned out really cute, and that was like a couple of years ago. But I thought I'm gonna try that again. All right, we're gonna add our last one. And I might have to cut some of these tails because I don't want it to cover the sign completely. right, so I'm going to use my zip tie to gather it. My charms are getting stuck. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim off my top and then see how much I need to trim off the bottom. And I'm just going to tie my pipe cleaner around so that I can hide my my zip tie. All right, so let's see. Maybe I can put it off to the side. Yeah, I can put it off to the side and it hides it. Otherwise, let's see if I can get my hands through here. I'm trying my best not to disturb the mesh, but I'm not doing a good job. All right, I have one side. I can feel my finger, but I can't get it to grab it. Hold please. There we go. OMG. Oh, I thought I did, but I did not hear. I have to put it through the mesh because okay. I don't like doing that, but I had to do it. Again, I don't want to hide the little spider's face. Fluff my bow out a little bit, but I can still hide my all right, and I'm just going to trim off my tails. This purple one has like a fuzzy edge to it. All right. Want to make sure his little green eyes are still showing. All right. So here we have it. Our low profile. Now, granted, let me see. If it wasn't for the bow, it would still be, so it's about, oh, operator error again. So it's like 5-ish. But on this side, you know, you're at 4. So if it wasn't for the bow, and it's okay because the bow would perk back up if they put it through their door and decide they want to put it inside. The bow is easily able to get fluffed back up. So here is our low profile wreath. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. Oh, hold on, I will switch my view. So if you can, I'm here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'm going to probably do a Friday one, not this week, maybe next week. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Next Friday, because my goal is to at least do two Fridays this month. So that's my goal. So here's my spider. Hope you like them. Again, thanks so much for hanging out. You guys have a good rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. And I will see you next week. God bless.